There were 3 curses on my trip in my year away. People said bad things come in threes, and they were right. There were 3 substantial curses, I'd say. That the first of that was an infected, I'm going to call it a mosquito bite, but it honestly looked like a snake bite. I'll put a picture up on screen right now. I don't know what it was. I don't know what got me. I kind of just kept leaving it, thinking, oh, it'll get better, it'll get better, it'll get better. It didn't get better. Ended up going to Chiang Mai hospital. They told me it was a local infection, which means it was just local to my skin. And they kind of scraped out the open wound and dressed it and said, look, take the bandage off in 3 days and it should be fine. Got to Pai, took the bandage off, and it was worse than it was when I took it to Chiang Mai. So I knew I was in big trouble. Ended up having to take 14 days of antibiotics, which is quite an intense course, and that led to side effects, which we'll talk about later in the course. And yeah, obviously couldn't drink for those 14 days as well, so the whole of Laos was pretty much a detox, which I probably needed, to be fair. And yeah, already, like, the thing is with this is it the biggest problem in the world? No. Were there bigger problems? Yes. But when you've been away for 4 months, I was lonely, I didn't really know anyone, I didn't really have the energy to go and meet people. Like, it's just not what you want. Like, you're gonna have a lot of problems when you're away, and things like this are just so preventable. Like, you don't need it in your cognitive load when you're away. You've already got accommodation to book, you've got an itinerary to plan, you've got to have energy for meeting people and socialising, doing things. Like, you just don't need this at the back of your mind. And obviously I was in some kind of physical pain too. Like, I couldn't do the thing I wanted to do. I wanted to do a Muay Thai camp in Pai, which I probably really needed at that point in the trip for some stability and somewhere to stay for a week. I hadn't really been anywhere for a week in the whole trip at that point. And yeah, couldn't do it. Couldn't do any kind of water activities because I couldn't get my foot wet. So yeah, like, it's just not ideal. It's not the end of the world, but things like this add up, which we will see. So yeah, that was first my curses. Not the biggest problem I had, but one that's very preventable. If you get any kind of bite, like, just do not let it get infected. Any sign of infection, any redness or like oozing, like, address it straight away. Don't let it spread, because yeah, it could turn out pretty nasty. So that is your lesson of the day. Lesson 32, ziplock your passport. Right, I already spoke about this in another video, but I'll go over it again because this is probably the biggest mistake that I made, the one that nearly sent me home. I was in Laos, I was flying to Hanoi that night, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go for a run. Yeah, not that much exercise in a while, I fancy a run, haven't run Laos yet. And obviously I always keep my bum bag on me. You probably see a lot of pictures of me in that. Because I think, look, my passport's safer on me than it is anywhere else. Like, if it's on me, you know, someone can kind of try and take it off me, at least I can defend it. But if it's in the hostel, I'm not even there, it could just get taken, and that would annoy me more than if someone tried to take it. So always have a passport on me. And this day I just got so unlucky. I went out for a run, forgot my passport was in my bag, and it just absolutely chucked it down. Come back from the run, took my passport out and realised, right, I'm in trouble. The passport was soaking. It was literally as if you threw it into the water and fished it out again. The pages were damp, some of the ink had run on the Lao immigration stamp. I was like, okay, this is, yeah, it's not what you want. So we got to the airport, got to the check-in, and the guy was like, your passport's wet. I said, yeah, mate, I know. He said, I don't know if I can check you in with this. I said, yeah, I know, look, mate, is there anything you can do? I've got a flight, we're flying in 2 hours. He said, look, okay, well, look. He pulled out a hairdryer from behind the check-in desk, started drying it and drying the pages, which you're not meant to do, by the way. If you do get your passport wet, if you have enough time to air dry it, that is so much better. My passport's in pretty bad condition, but you'll see in a minute anyway. And yeah, started drying the passport, and he said to me, look, I can check you in, that's no problem, right? I had to buy a return flight to prove that I was coming back, which was like 60 quid. He said, if you get to the Vietnamese immigration and they turn you back because your passport is not in good enough condition, you will have to pay for that flight back, you will have to get an emergency travel document, and you will have to go back home to the UK. I was like, okay, I understand. It obviously wasn't what I wanted, but that was literally the only way. I would have had to go back to Laos and get some kind of emergency passport because my passport was not in good enough condition to travel. Got through the check-in, sat on the plane. It was only an hour flight. From Vientiane to Hanoi was about an hour. I sat in that plane and I was staring at the seat in front of me for an hour like this. And it was it felt like the longest flight of my life, even though obviously Australia was about 20 hours. That felt longer because all I could think about the whole time was what is going to happen when I get to this Vietnam immigration, like the mental load that it was now taking on me. Bear in mind off the back of what's already happened, I'm already burnt out. You know, the problems are starting to accumulate. And that, you know, I thought I had problems before. No, I've got a problem now. Get to the Vietnamese immigration. Right, and I walk up, I'll give him my passport. Right, I'm trying to look nonchalant, right, inside my heart's absolutely beating. I'm thinking, right, this man is about to determine my fate. Looks at the passport, looks at me, takes a look at the passport, stamps it, gives it back to me. I could not believe it. I was so grateful. I was just absolutely, I walked through that, got my bag, and yeah, I could not believe I was in Vietnam. I was like, wow, I should not be here. And yeah, I remember calling my dad when I got to Hanoi. I was pretty upset because I thought I was going home. And he said, look, at the end of the day, you've travelled more than most people have in their life. Like, you'll be fine. So that was all good. I was pretty worried about going home. And it was also kind of anxiety for, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into the next country. Can I do Cambodia? Can I do Philippines? I had a tour booked in the Philippines. I didn't know if I could do any more. So it was a lot of mental, like I said, cognitive load that I just didn't need. Like, it's just not what you want. But in a weird way, it kind of made me grateful for every country I was in. And yeah, changed my mindset a little bit. I wasn't taking it for granted as much anymore, but we'll cover that in the part 2 of the course. So yeah, was it ideal? Like, would I go back and zip on my passport? Like, yeah, I probably just would. Like, you don't really need to learn that lesson that way. So yeah, learn from me, don't be an idiot, zip your passport and you will be sweet. Lesson 33 is take probiotics. Right, now I know, right, bodybuilding is not real, all this. Okay, I'm not saying you need to take them every day all the time, but the strategic use of probiotics, if you're going on a tour or you're going to be in an environment where you know the food is served to you, it's mass catered, you know, the food's getting left out for a long time, it's not cooked fresh, and maybe you're even vulnerable because you've been on antibiotics for 14 days and your gut bacteria is not fully healed yet, you probably want to put something in you that's going to protect yourself. Okay, so it was the last day of the Ha Giang Loop and I was in the club and I just started feeling so ill. And I'd only had one beer, right? And I know I'm a lightweight, but I thought it can't be drink, like I'm ill. Went upstairs, spewed, fainted, bang, woke up, all these people standing around me. I thought, I don't know what that was, but I don't feel very good. So I went home, 2:30 in the morning, woke back up in the hostel, and yeah, back to the toilet, spewing out of both ends, fainted again. And I thought, right, this is not ideal. I need some electrolytes. I'm very dehydrated now. Took the electrolytes, whipped up a little storm, drank the electrolytes, could not keep the electrolytes down me, came up straight away. I thought, right, I'm in big trouble now. I can't drink water. I'm severely dehydrated. I'm in the middle of North Vietnam. No one speaks English. Is there even a hospital here? I don't even know. And even if there was, I have to get on the back of a motorbike to get anywhere anyway. It's the Ha Giang Loop, for God's sake. So I was in big trouble. So I ended up sitting outside the hostel, just on the lounge, kind of going to the toilet every 10 minutes, like dialed in. And got to about 5, and I was like, right, I've got to wake up one of the drivers, the Easy Riders. Got on the Google Translate, said, mate, this is an emergency. Like, I need a drip or something. Like, I can't go on like this. And he said, it can. He got me to the hospital. He said, look, I'll 6 o'clock, there's a clinic that opens. I will take you there, basically. I said, all right, fine. I've already been up since half 2, I don't really care. 6 comes along, he takes me to the hospital, he says, Google Translate me, he said, look, the doctor's setting up the drip. So I walk in, there's this big shed, right? It's not a hospital, it's just a Vietnamese guy's shed. Right, I'm sitting down on this plank of wood, and yeah, like what I just said, the doctor setting up the drip, laid down, I'm thinking, is this even safe? Like, is it sterile? Is he going to put something in me? I've never had a drip before, I don't know, is this even safe? But you don't really have a choice, do you? Like, at the end of the day, I was dehydrated. This man is going to save my life, so you just have to kind of go with it. And yeah, luckily after 2 bags of the drip, I felt a lot better and ended up finishing the loop. Although that last day was absolutely rough, right? I don't even need to explain it, you already know. But yeah, it was not ideal, kind of ruined my loop experience because that's the thing that I remember the most. So yeah, it's kind of funny how the one thing that people say was their best experience on their trip is my category at worst, which is some symbolism in that, which we'll address later. But yeah, all of this can be prevented, like not if you're in a high-zone loop, obviously you do other tours like the Komodo boat tour, things where your food is given to you. This can all be prevented if you just take some probiotics, and yeah, you're more likely to get food poisoning from these kind of environments than you are from some local food in Bali. Like if it's being cooked fresh, you're going to be okay. Yeah, this was just pretty bad. Obviously my situation where I've been on antibiotics before as well made it a lot worse. So yeah, that weren't great. The next 9 days weren't great. The overnight buses around North Vietnam were not great. Imodium did save my life. So yeah, strategic use of probiotics is how I would articulate that lesson. There are a lot of unpredictables on your trip when you're away. There's a lot of things out of your control, right? If you're on a set itinerary, you're on a tour, or you're just following someone and going with the flow, you're not even in control of where you're going, sometimes what you're eating, if you're in an environment where there's not food that you would normally eat, what the weather's like, where you're even sleeping that night, like a lot of things that you just don't know, and you just have to go with it. And that can cause a lot of cognitive load. I've been using that a lot, but it is true. And the way that you need to defend yourself against this, or at least have some kind of stability, is lesson 34, which is using routine to anchor against chaos. Now, this was originally an inside world point because I think there's a big perspective shift that happens when you do this, but I'm putting it here because of the practicality. There are things that you can do every day that will anchor you against the chaos on your trip, against everything. So for me, there were 2 things that were the most important, and we'll cover these more later in the course, but if I just woke up every morning before everyone else and had breakfast on my own and journaled, that was good. And then if I would run in the evening before the group went for dinner, those were the 2 things that kept me grounded, and I knew I was going to do them every day. It did not matter what happened in that day. I could have seen terrible things, I could have seen death, literally anything could have happened to me. I was genuinely convinced that there was no problem that I could not overcome if I woke up, journaled, and run that night. They were my 2 processing activities. It was journaling and running, like a mental outlet and a physical outlet. Like if I just had them, and I felt the difference. Like on the days where it was too hot to run, or the itinerary didn't allow it because, I don't know, we were out all day and it was impractical to go for a run and come back before the next thing. Like I would actually feel the difference. I would feel restless if I didn't journal that day. Like there was thoughts and there was loss of consciousness that made me uncomfortable. Like there were things I needed to get down, especially on days like tour where things happen very quickly and relationships progress faster, time travels differently, back to the point we made earlier. So you need to find these. It might not be these. I'm not saying journal and run every day if that's not for you. It might be eating the same breakfast every day, or reading the same book, or just have something that you do every day to give your day a little bit of stability in the storm, in the chaos. That's how you defend against it, and that's what will make your trip better, because you need to fight against all the unpredictable elements to stay sane and to stay stable. And that kind of sweet spot is where the growth is. You know those kind of questions that immediately reveal what a person's character's like? I saw a video today where it was someone saying, like when someone says, oh, guess how much money I spent on this shirt, or guess how many miles I run today. Like you always go with an over or underestimation to give that person a sense of accomplishment and to let them have their excitement. One of the things that I always say to measure someone's character is, do you recline on budget airlines? Right? And that is a lesson for 35. Do not do it. And I don't care. I've seen so much before, like, oh, I paid for this seat, I'm entitled to put it back if I want. Guys, like there's a human bit, there's a sentient human being with thoughts and feelings sitting right behind you. Do you know what? I was on a transfer from, I think it was Koh Samui, it was somewhere in South Thailand, and there was a guy sitting in front of me, and he was a big lad to be fair. And do you know what he did? He just turned around and said, excuse me mate, sorry, you don't want to put my chair back a little bit, do you? I said, no, of course mate, of course you can. That's fine, like, if you could just ask. You're like, yeah, okay, I had a little bit of leg room less, but it was the way he asked, right? It was non-entitled, and it was absolutely fine. Like, I don't mind that, but it's the people that think that there's just an invisible or like wooden person behind them, like the absolute disregard for their welfare, to then just go and put your chair back. Like, mate, honestly, you don't understand, like, getting reclined on, it's the most infuriating thing ever. Okay, yeah, on the long haul flight, fine, like when you're actually going to Australia, but if you're just flying between countries on a budget airline, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? It's so annoying. Oh, God. Like, this is the hardest point to articulate because it makes me the most angry. But just do not do it. why are you flying? You'll say, oh, why don't you go fly a first class if you don't like it? Like, no, we're budget travelling. Like, this is the point. We're supposed to be looking out for each other. Like, you've literally missed the whole point. Do not recline on budget airlines, guys. Don't do it. Lesson 36, kind of a niche one, but important. Asia, treat water like a human right. I'm not joking. I thought when I was in the Sumatran jungle, right, with the Mentawai tribe, there's no way we're gonna have hot water. Like, it's just such a luxury. So I didn't bring any kind of extra food, didn't bring any pot noodles or anything. So I was like, there's not gonna be hot water. Mate, the guys literally carried through this massive boiler jug on the boat, through like 2 hours in the jungle, trekking, just to have your hot water. And you'll have it on the Komodo boat tour, you'll have it on the Haijang Loop. Like, anywhere you go, you've got hot water. Like, it doesn't matter. So you want to use it strategically, knowing this, because it annoyed me when I was going to a tour or something, and like you just don't know what the catering facilities are, and like the tour guide doesn't speak very good English, so he doesn't really understand what you're asking. But if you've got hot water, like you can prepare, right? So instead of having just your tea or coffee, black, right, you can come in with your little tube of condensed milk from 7-Eleven and make it better, right? And then even better than that, you can go and share it, and you can say, oh guys, look what I've got, everyone have a little bit of milk. It just gives you that little bit of dopamine that you wouldn't have, right? When morale's low, kind of reminds me of DV a little bit, right? You know, when you're just in the middle of nowhere, like everyone's down, like you've been walking for so long, you just put your tent up, and like someone's just got something, right? I remember Charlie gave me a little bit of a Biscoff to put in my porridge in the morning. Like it just hits so different, like when you don't have your luxuries. So even just knowing they've got hot water, like you can prepare for it. Like if you need more food, bring your pot noodles, bring one, like the ready-made porridge pots where all you do is add hot water to it. Like that'll keep you going. So knowing that, you can prepare better for these things and enjoy it more. Like it just sounds such a small thing. Like who cares if there's hot water? But trust me, when you've got nothing left and you're just with a group of people and you need a little pick-me-up, right, a little morale booster, you'll be grateful that you knew there was hot water there, because you enjoy the luxury more than everyone else. That is lesson 36. Lesson 37, travel with people on the same budget. Right, and this is actually a big one, because you've got two kinds of people, right? You've got two kinds of people. You've got the budget travellers, right, like us, one of us. We try and do things cheap, right? And not even because we necessarily have to, but it's just fun, right? It's fun to save money. It's fun to create a challenge and try and get places cheaply as possible and hitchhike, even if you don't really have to. Like, it's just fun, right? It's part of the experience, it's part of travelling. That's why travel's best when you're young and poor, because you have a better time. When you've got the other side, yeah, you've got the other, I don't even know what to call them, but you know what I mean, right? They're probably on daddy's money, like how are you 18 in Australia? Like, it doesn't really make any sense. And yeah, they've got private rooms every night and they'll eat anywhere they want. They don't bother like looking for budget meals or anything. And you just think like, fair play, like that's how you want to do it. But that is not going to work. If these two kinds of people are travelling together, it's just going to cause a problem, because you've got the person that wants to save money and the person just wants to do whatever they want. And it's going to, if the person that's budget travelling goes with the person that does whatever they want, that's going to cause resentment, because now you're having to pay for stuff you don't want to buy. And the same way the other way around. Like, I met Fred in Cambodia, and like, great to see him, obviously good catching up. But he keeps taking the mick of me, because in Cambodia I wouldn't pay an extra £2 to get a boat to Koh Sadat. I was like, no, I'm going to wait for the free transfer that was included in our package. Like, I wasn't willing to do it, and he got really wound up with me. It was like, can we not just pay the money? Like, it is so simple. Like, we had such a long transfer. Like, let's just get there. And I was like, no. I was absolutely stubborn about it. I was like, we are doing this the proper way. I don't care. And like, that's going to wind him up, because he's the kind of person who just wants to pay to have an easier experience, which I get. Like, that's fine. But it's just not me, it's not how I do things. So that was one of the best things about meeting Mac, because we were both budget travelling, and I knew whenever I was with him, if he booked a transfer or if we were eating dinner somewhere, it was the most cost-effective budget travelling method that there was. And I knew my pockets were safe. And yeah, it was just good. Like, it's a good experience, like the hitchhike to Brunei. Like, I probably wouldn't have done that with anyone else, because anyone else might have gone, oh, we'll just get an Uber to Bury Sam Bagawan, wherever it was, for like £100, like between us. That's still £33 each. That goes a long way in Asia. So yeah, message is, travel people in the same budget. There won't be any kind of feelings of anger or anything. Like, you'll just have a better time if you're all aligned in what you want. So that's lesson 37. One thing you want on you all the time is electrolytes. Okay, now that sounds like a luxury. Like, you go to 7-Eleven, you grab some electrolytes, like you're hungover, bang, fixes you up. But like, in Asia, you want to be proactive. You want to be drinking your electrolytes before you even get dehydrated. So you're efficient, you're optimal in the morning. I'll do that. I'll go to 7-Eleven. You can buy the little sachets. You can buy literally a whole box that they come in for like a few quid, because each little sachet on its own is only like 10p. And yeah, have your electrolytes in the morning. If you go for a run, do any kind of exercise, you are going to be sweating so much. I think a lot of people feel that kind of grogginess and yeah, suboptimal feeling is because you're dehydrated, you don't even know it. Like, especially if you're going out drinking every night, it just helps so much to have electrolytes, not even just for exercise. It's a habit that I took home with me. Like, I will drink electrolytes even on non-training days. I feel good. Like, you wake up, you've got that feeling in your mouth, you're really thirsty. Like, bang, just electrolytes, gets rid of it straight away. Like, you feel good. And like, this is it. It sounds, again, like a small thing, but what all these points have in common is there's small actions you can take to make yourself feel better. Because when you don't have them and when they all add up, that's when you start having problems and not enjoying your trip. But if you're performing well, you're hydrated, you've got your luxuries, you've got your cup of tea with your milk, like, there's nothing that really you think at the back of your mind, oh, I really wish I had this, or I really wish I wasn't dehydrated right now. You might not even know it. And yeah, I suppose another point to do with electrolytes, but also related back to food poisoning. If you do get food poisoning, you are going to be even more severely dehydrated than you would be if you were drinking and running and exercising and sweating because of the heat and humidity. Like, you are now almost in a dangerous level of dehydration. If you've got electrolytes on you and you can keep them down, bang, you're going to be in a good position. So yeah, don't get caught without your electrolytes, just have them in your bag. Like, it's so easy. And yeah, not really much to add to that. Lesson 38, carry your electrolytes. So not many people know this when you go there, especially if you're looking at a menu which isn't in English. But there's a secret menu in Asia, right? It's not on there. Sometimes they won't say you can have this, you can have that, you can have extra stuff. But if you just ask for it, if you just get like a pad thai with chicken, right, you're gonna have to spend more money getting more meal. I mean, some people will just do this. Like, I used to go in, order like a pad thai, a Penang curry, like different mains, and obviously that adds up to quite a lot of money. But what you can do is just get a pad thai, and if you ask for extra chicken, right, it won't say it on the menu, but if you say, oh, pad thai, extra chicken, double chicken, use Google Translate to get the words. I think at some point I learned how to say more chicken. They will only charge you like a fraction of the price for more chicken, because in their eyes they're charging for the labour and the work, and it doesn't really take any more work to put in more chicken. So if it's 60 baht for a pad thai, which is £1.20, they might charge you, what, 80, 100? Like, not even £2 for a bigger portion of the thing you want more, which is chicken. So yeah, no, it's not a really good point. No, it is, because like, you want to be eating well, you're going to be eating high protein. Like, a lot of meals in Asia, they're not substantial. Like, if you've been going gym or like, and you're away for a long time, like I was worried. I was like, am I going to get smaller? Am I going to lose all my muscle? Like, I definitely did. I lost weight, and yeah, like, it's another thing, mental, cognitive load. I'm looking small, I'm not looking good. Like, you just want to kind of reduce that mental thing at the back of your head where you're like, okay, look, at least I'm eating well. Like, I didn't train today, I didn't get a gym session in, like, it's too hot to train, or there's just not a gym available, or I don't have time, or whatever excuse you're giving, but I ate well and that's all I can do. Like, you're doing everything you can to stay sane, basically, because you're eating well at home normally, right? If you're watching it, you should be anyway. And yeah, you just want to kind of have something to base yourself in. Like, at least I ate a decent high protein meal to keep you going. You're still probably not even going to touch 100 grams like every day unless you really try for it. You can go to 7-Eleven, you can get your protein shake. Maybe I'll do a video about like protein optimization. I don't know if you'd be interested in that, but yeah, it's nice to know if you're trying to preserve your muscle mass, like if you're away. I was away for a year, in case you didn't know, mate. If you're only away for like a few months, like, probably doesn't matter too much, but yeah, again, another one of those things which will add up over time when you think, oh, I'm not eating enough. So ask for extra chicken, it's budget, method, and yeah, will just make you feel a lot better. Lesson 40, another kind of boring one. We're gonna get to the good stuff soon, guys, I promise, right? But lesson 40 is you don't need first aid until you do. Right, now I only took a 40 litre backpack. There was no room for first aid, right? By the time I had my clothes and my wash bag and my towel, and that's pretty much it. I mean, also I ended up buying a fleece and a jacket in New Zealand. There literally was not room for first aid. And I thought, oh, I'll be fine, like, if I need something, like, I can just buy it, or someone will help me out, or blah, blah. But you don't want to already be in the frame of mind where you're relying on other people. Like, imagine if you're somewhere else, there's no one around. Like, when I had my bites on my foot, like, it would have been so handy just to have like gauze ready to wrap it up, keep it covered, but I didn't have it. And then you end up walking around loads of 7-Elevens looking for things you need and you can't find it. And then again, add into the stress. If you just have everything on you, like, yeah, you guys are travelling first aid. I think I was probably in the minority of people that did not have a single thing on me. Like, I had a few tablets, but nothing, not even a plaster to cover my wounds. I did not have anything like that. So, yeah, and the other points that would be, even if you don't think you need it, I would genuinely take a first aid kit with me next time just to help other people. Like, the amount of people that come up to you and say, oh, like, do you have paracetamol, or I need a plaster, you know, I've got bitten, I need to cover something, you know, do you have mosquito spray? Like, even if you're just carrying it for the sole purpose of helping other people, I think that makes it worth it in itself. So yeah, lesson 40, you do not need first aid until you need it. Then you'll be grateful that you listened to this video.